Have you ever gazed up at the night sky and wondered about those shining companions orbiting our planets? I'm talking about moons, of course. From our own familiar moon to the icy satellites of Jupiter and Saturn, they are an integral part of our solar system. But what if they weren't? What if, overnight, every moon in our solar system broke free from its planetary embrace and started orbiting the Sun directly? What if the moons became planets? It sounds like science fiction, but let's explore this incredible cosmic shakeup together. First, let's define what this means. To become a planet, a celestial body needs to meet 3 criteria according to the International Astronomical Union. 1. It must orbit the Sun. 2. It must have enough mass to pull itself into a nearly round shape. And 3. It has to have cleared its neighborhood, meaning it's the dominant gravitational force in its orbit. Many large moons, like our own, Jupiter's Ganymede, and Saturn's Titan, already tick the second box. The big change here is the first one, orbiting the Sun instead of a planet. So, in our thought experiment, every single one of the over 200 known moons in our solar system is now a free-roaming, Sun-orbiting body. The immediate effect would be a complete remapping of our solar system. It would suddenly become incredibly crowded. We'd go from 8 planets to well over 200. Imagine a new solar system chart. It would look like a cosmic beehive. Astronomers would have a field day, or rather, a field century, trying to track and categorize all these new mini-planets. Some of these new planets would be tiny, just a few kilometers across, while others like Ganymede and Titan are larger than the planet Mercury. Ganymede would officially become the 9th planet from the Sun, and our own moon would become a planetary neighbor. But this cosmic liberation party wouldn't be all smooth sailing. The gravitational dance of the solar system would be thrown into chaos. Right now, the 8 planets have relatively stable, predictable orbits. They've spent billions of years clearing their paths. Now, imagine introducing over 200 new players into this delicate game. These new moon planets would have highly erratic and unpredictable orbits. Why? Because they'd start their new lives from the orbital path of their former parent planet. This means you'd have dozens of new planets all jostling for space in the same orbital lane as Jupiter. You'd have a whole cluster near Saturn, and another near Uranus and Neptune. This would create gravitational chaos. Their paths would cross not only each other's but also the paths of the original planets. The risk of collisions would skyrocket. A cosmic game of bumper cars would begin, and the consequences would be catastrophic. Over millions of years, the solar system would likely see a great clearing out, with many of these new, smaller planets being ejected into deep space, swallowed by the Sun, or crashing into larger bodies. Let's bring this a little closer to home. What about Earth and our moon? If our moon suddenly became a planet, its new orbit around the Sun would initially be very similar to Earth's. We would become sister planets, orbiting the Sun in close proximity. It might seem cool at first, like having a permanent nearby world to visit. But remember that, clearing the neighborhood rule, Earth and the new planet Luna would be in a gravitational tug-of-war. Without the moon's steadying influence, Earth's axis would begin to wobble dramatically over long periods. Our planet's tilt is currently a stable 23.5 degrees, which gives us predictable seasons. Without the moon, this tilt could swing wildly, from nearly 0 to over 45 degrees. This would lead to extreme climate shifts. A nearly 0-degree tilt would mean no seasons at all, while a large tilt would cause unimaginably hot summers and frigid winters. Life on Earth, which has evolved with stable seasons, would face an immense challenge to survive. And what about the tides? The moon's gravity is the primary driver of our ocean tides. Twice a day, we see the sea level rise and fall in a predictable rhythm. Without the moon, this would stop. The Sun also has a tidal effect, but it's less than half as strong. So, our tides wouldn't disappear completely, but they'd be much, much weaker. This would have a massive impact on coastal ecosystems. Many species in tidal zones, from crabs to seaweed, depend on the regular ebb and flow of the tide for survival. Entire ecosystems could collapse, leading to a massive loss of marine biodiversity. Let's also think about our night sky. We'd lose that beautiful, comforting presence of the moon. Nights would become profoundly dark, lit only by the distant stars. While this might be great for stargazers, it would disorient countless nocturnal animals that rely on moonlight for navigation and hunting. The cultural and psychological impact on humanity would also be huge. For all of history, the moon has been a source of inspiration, a timekeeper, and a guiding light in art, poetry, and religion. Its sudden absence would leave a void in our collective consciousness. Now, let's zoom out again and look at the other new planets. What would life be like on them? Most moons are not habitable as we know it. They are airless, frozen, or irradiated. But some are tantalizing. Jupiter's moon, Europa, and Saturn's moon Enceladus are believed to have vast liquid water oceans beneath their icy shells, warmed by tidal forces from their parent planets. If they became planets, this internal heating mechanism would vanish. Without the constant gravitational squeezing from Jupiter or Saturn, their internal heat source would shut down. Over time, those subsurface oceans, which are considered prime candidates for finding extraterrestrial life, would likely freeze solid. So, in a cruel twist of irony, the very act of becoming a planet could extinguish the potential for life on these fascinating worlds. On the other hand, what about Titan? Saturn's largest moon is a unique world with a thick nitrogen atmosphere and rivers and lakes of liquid methane. It's incredibly cold, but what if its new orbit brought it closer to the Sun? If Titan were to migrate to an orbit, say, where Earth is now, things would get interesting. As it warmed up, the methane would evaporate, and the water ice that makes up much of its surface would melt. Titan could, theoretically, become a water world with a dense atmosphere. It's a long shot, but it highlights how a moon's destiny is tied to its location. Becoming a planet would be a complete roll of the dice. So, to sum it all up, if moons became planets, our solar system would transform from a relatively orderly place into a chaotic, crowded, and dangerous demolition derby. Earth would lose its stabilizing partner, leading to drastic climate change and ecological collapse. The night would lose its brightest jewel, and potential havens for life like Europa might freeze over. It's a fascinating scenario that really underscores the delicate balance of our cosmic neighborhood. It shows us that the moons of our solar system aren't just secondary characters. They are essential players in the grand gravitational ballet that makes our solar system and our own world what it is today. Our moon isn't just a rock in the sky, it's our anchor, our timekeeper, and our protector. So, the next time you look up at the moon, give it a little nod of appreciation. We're pretty lucky to have it right where it is. Thank you so much for joining me on this cosmic journey today. If you enjoyed this thought experiment, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the what-ifs of our universe. Let me know in the comments what other cosmic questions you'd like to see answered. Until next time, keep looking up